It's midnight and you are tuning into Nightline with me, Sabrina Zainal. The top stories. Face mask indoors now optional. And at least 32 people killed in Vietnam karaoke bar fire. Good morning. We begin with this story. Effective immediately, the use of face masks is no longer mandatory indoors. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin announced that the use of face masks would only be compulsory in public transportation, such as buses, airplanes, or when having symptoms, and at health facilities and care centers.
Khairi said the decision was made based on the current climate of COVID-19 in Malaysia, which is under control, as shown by the low bed usage and number of admissions to the intensive care unit. He also said that making masks optional indoors was the natural progression given Malaysia's high vaccination rate and Malaysians' compliance with the SOPs. He, however, stressed that premises owners can impose the wearing of face masks on those seeking to enter and spend time in their establishments to curb the spread of the virus, adding that premises owners have the right to refuse entry for those who do not comply.
Dengan kelonggaran ini, orang ramai perlu memikul tanggungjawab yang lebih besar, melindungi bukan sahaja diri sendiri tetapi seluruh komuniti. Kementerian Kesihatan percaya orang ramai masih akan terus mengamalkan kawalan sendiri, masih ramai mungkin akan pakai pelitup muka dan ini kita galakkan.
Despite the lifting of the restriction, Khairi said the people were still advised to keep their masks on as it stops the spread of COVID-19. He added it was crucial for those who are in the high-risk category, especially the elderly and the immunocompromised, as well as those who are exposed to them and people who are symptomatic, to continue wearing the mask.
Khairi also revealed that his ministry is considering purchasing a variant-specific COVID-19 vaccine that is capable of fighting the Omicron variant. He, however, said that the ministry has yet to decide on the immunization program that will be implemented if it offers the vaccine.
Kita memang sedang melihat kepada pembelian vaksin yang digunakan khususnya untuk varian baru. Dan nanti kita akan buat keputusan berdasarkan kepada trend epidemiologi jangkitan yang sedia ada.
Khairi said this at a media conference after officiating the International Generic and Biosimilar Medicines Association, IGBA, and Malaysian Organization of Pharmaceutical Industries 2022 conference in Kuala Lumpur on Wednesday. Malaysia has so far offered as many as 4 doses of the COVID-19 vaccines, 2 primary doses and another 2 boosters to higher risk groups such as senior citizens and those with comorbidities. On another matter, the Health Ministry is considering a proposal to allow free influenza or flu vaccines for those aged 65 and above, following the country's growing aging population. Deputy Health Minister Dr. Nur Azmi Ghazali said the proposal would be brought up during the ministry's internal meeting as the nation was expected to reach 5.2 million aging population by 2030.
Dr. Nur Azmi said the number is expected to increase to 9.6 million of the total population by 2050. He stressed that this demographic has serious implications and the transition from sick care to health care is needed. Dr. Nur Azmi also noted that the ministry would enhance its focus on the Aging Nation agenda in the Health White Paper. He added that the country is heading towards an aging population in 8 years, and it is important to create more geriatric specialists and special facilities for the elderly. Thus, he urged senior citizens to obtain the flu shots to prevent diseases and subsequently reduce the risks of hospitalization and death.
Malaysia opines that every nation-state should be brave to move towards creating a peaceful and harmonious multipolar world that respects international diplomacy. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the world today was moving towards multipolarity that brings with it not only threats but opportunities that should be optimized by all.
In expressing Malaysia's stand at the 7th Eastern Economic Forum, EEF, with the theme On the Path to a Multipolar World, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri said all countries need to accept and adapt to the new distribution of power in crafting a more prosperous, sustainable and just future.
Dari perspektif Malaysia, tiada negara yang boleh hidup secara terasing. Oleh itu, Malaysia sentiasa mengamalkan sikap mesra dan terbuka untuk menjalinkan persahabatan dengan mana-mana negara. Bagi kami, setiap negara bangsa perlu berani mengorak langkah ke arah mewujudkan dunia multipolar yang aman damai, menghormati diplomasi antarabangsa dan mewujudkan hubungan sejahtera sejagat.
He added Malaysia holds strong to the principle of ASEAN centrality and also other basic principles in cooperation, respect for a nation's sovereignty, and assisting member countries to achieve peace and regional prosperity. As an ASEAN founding country, Malaysia will continue to play its vital role in building the ASEAN community and regional integration. The Prime Minister said this during an online EEF plenary session. The 7th edition of the EEF is being held in Vladivostok, Russia, from September 5th to the 8th. EEF was established in 2015 to support the economic development of Russia's Far East and to expand international cooperation in the Asia-Pacific region.
Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri stressed that the government supports media freedom as long as the information relayed to the people is not fake. This was reflected in how media practitioners operate here under the current administration.
Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri said as of today, there were no incidents where media practitioners had their licenses suspended or action taken against them. He added that nowadays there is plenty of information that is inaccurate or twisted and that may mislead the people, adding that this is why it is important for the mainstream media, including print publications, to provide accurate information.
Saya percaya kajian memberikan kebebasan yang sepenuhnya kepada media. Saya tahu media juga tahu tentang batasan yang ada pada mereka. Dan setakat ini saya percaya tidak ada yang diambil tindakan pun ya dengan kebebasan yang diberi. Dan seperti saya kata, media perlu bertanggungjawab, iaitu menceritakan perkara yang sebenar, memberikan info yang sebenar. Jika memberi info yang sebenar, pastinya tidak akan ada bantahan ataupun kekangan daripada kajian tentang bagaimana berita tersebut nak disampaikan.
Though there were many that have turned to social media for information due to the advancement in technology and changing routines, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri hoped the people would also tune in to the mainstream media, adding that mainstream media, including print publications, are important since they provide accurate information for the people. The Prime Minister said this to reporters after visiting Media Prima Berhad at Sri Pentas, Bandar Utama. Present were Media Prima Berhad Group Chairman Datuk Sri Dr. Syed Hussein Al-Junid, Media Prima Berhad Group Managing Director Rafiq Razali, Media Prima Audio CEO Nazri Noran, the New Straits Times Group Editor Ahmad Lokman Mansour, and Berita Harian Group Editor Dato Ahmad Zaini Kamaruzaman, and News and Current Affairs Deputy Group Chief Editor Azhari Muhyiddin. Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri also checked out radio stations under Media Prima Audio before he was interviewed by Hot FM and 8FM. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Dr. Syed Hussein said MPB was honoured to receive the visit from the Prime Minister, who was also briefed on the operations of the newsrooms and radio stations at Sri Pentas. He said that MPB would also strengthen its cooperation with the government to deliver accurate information to the public.
Yang Amat Berhormat ini telah dapatlah mengetahui serba sedikit mengenai radio-radio yang ada di Media Prima. Dan insya-Allah kita akan continue untuk bekerjasama dengan kerajaan Malaysia untuk membawakan berita-berita yang benar. Jadi hari ini Yang Amat Berhormat juga telah menyentuh juga tentang banyak berita-berita yang viral yang tidak benar. Jadi hari ini kita telah berkongsi-kongsi pendapat dan insya-Allah kerjasama yang sedia ada akan kita teruskan.
On to Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak's 1MDB trial. The Kuala Lumpur High Court was told on Wednesday that the former Prime Minister had issued 38 cheques amounting to 8.4 million ringgit to several entities and individuals, including 2 former ministers between March 2011 and May 2012. Bank Berhad Senior Manager for Cheque Processing Centre Division, Badrul Hisam Muhammad, said the transactions were recorded in Datuk Seri Najib's personal account statement.
Badrul said among the names listed as the recipients of the cheques were former Land Cooperative Development Minister Tan Sri Kasitah Gadam and former Human Resources Minister Datuk Sri Richard Riot Jaim, who received 100,000 each. The 36th prosecution witness said this when reading out his witness statement during examination in chief by Deputy Public Prosecutor Dipa Nair Tevaharan. The 36th prosecution witness confirmed there are 18 individuals, 5 UMNO divisions and 1 Barisan Nasional division that received monies amounting over 2.1 million ringgit from One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB funds through these cheque transactions, while Khalif Umar Creative and Semarak Consortium Satu Sendirian Berhad were among the companies that received the cheques from Datuk Seri Najib, amounting to 1,428,250 ringgit. Referring to the scanned copies of the cheques by Islamic Bank Berhad, Jalan Raja Chulan branch for Datuk Seri Najib's account, Badrul said he was able to identify Datuk Seri Najib's signature because the signature was recorded in the Signature Database System, SDS, which he had to refer to for comparison and verification purposes. Meanwhile, when cross-examined by lawyer Wan Aizuddin Wan Muhammad, the witness said that the bank would contact the customer to confirm the transaction if the payment for a cheque issued amounted to more than 20,000 ringgit. Datuk Seri Najib is facing 4 charges of using his position to obtain bribes amounting to 2.3 billion ringgit of 1MDB funds and 21 charges of money laundering involving the same amount.
Increased market demand for factory and commercial development in Malaysia. Keeping up with the latest innovation in the development and construction industry. How will property developers take advantage of higher e-commerce penetration rates? And the crucial factors in attracting investors to set up their businesses in Malaysia. Money Matters speaks with Klang Group Holdings Sdn Berhad this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3.
Typhoon Hinamnor kills 7 and flooded South Korea. News from the foreign front when we return. Continues. A fire at a karaoke bar in Vietnam's southern city of Binh Duong has killed at least 32 people and injuring dozens of others. According to officials, the blaze ripped through the second and third floors of the building on Tuesday night, trapping customers and staff members. It was understood that the flames grew quickly due to foam soundproofing material and wooden interior features, forcing people to jump from the second and third floors of the building. Authorities said the blaze took just under an hour to bring under control, adding that they are still looking for victims at the scene. Vietnam's Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh has ordered the Public Security Ministry and provincial authorities to investigate the cause of the fire. In Pohang, South Korea, 7 people were killed after they were trapped in a car park during floods caused by Typhoon Hinnamnor. The dead victims were found in a flooded underground car park attached to an apartment complex. 2 others were rescued alive after clinging to ceiling pipes for over 12 hours. The victims were believed to have become trapped underground when they went to move their vehicles as torrential rains poured in. Meanwhile, the new British Prime Minister Liz Truss has convened a new-look cabinet on her first full day in office on Wednesday. First on her agenda, to thrash out an economic support package and forestall an energy crisis linked to the war in Ukraine.
The cabinet includes the most diverse top team in British history: Kwasi Kwarteng as Finance Minister, James Cleverly as Foreign Secretary, and Suella Braverman as Interior Minister. Truss on Wednesday also faced her first parliamentary grilling as British Prime Minister, ruling out a windfall tax to fund any freeze on energy bills to offset huge rises in the cost of gas and electricity.
What I'm about is about reducing taxes, getting our economy growing, getting investment, getting new jobs for people right across the country. I will take immediate action to help people with their energy bills, but also secure our long-term energy supply. I will take immediate action to make sure we have lower taxes and we grow the economy. And that way, I will ensure we have a positive future for our country and we get Britain moving.
The newly elected leader was being quizzed by opposition leader Sir Keir Starmer on her plans to tackle a growing energy crisis in her first weekly Prime Minister's Questions session. Truss told Parliament that she was against a windfall tax on oil and gas companies and would instead favour tax cuts to grow the economy and manage a spiralling cost of living crisis. The 47-year-old is expected to unveil her plans on Thursday for an economic support package to forestall a growing crisis in the months ahead.
12 pasukan berentak demi menjulang Piala Idaman. Kami bawakan kepada anda perlawanan tumpuan Liga Super 2022. Hanya di TV9 dan Astro 149.
Sports football. English Premier League side Chelsea have parted ways with manager Thomas Tuchel a day after they lost to Croatian team Dinamo Zagreb in their opening game of the Champions League group stage. The club in a statement said the new ownership group believed it is the right time to make the transition as it continues its hard work to take the club forward. Tuchel was informed on Wednesday morning and Anthony Barry is likely to take temporary charge until a replacement is found, with Graham Potter said to be the early front-runner. As well as approaching Potter, Chelsea might try to hold discussions with out-of-work duo Mauricio Pochettino and Zinedine Zidane. Benfica manager Roger Schmidt could also come under consideration. Chelsea are 6th in the Premier League and have made a miserable start to their Champions League campaign, with Tuchel disposed hours after their humbling 1-0 loss in Croatia, his 100th match in charge. Moving on to tennis, the 2022 U.S. Open. Nick Kyrgios was sent packing for home on Wednesday as he suffered a quarter-final defeat to Karen Khachanov in a 5-set thriller.
Kyrgios went toe-to-toe with Khachanov but did not do enough to counter the Russian's punishing serve as he fell 7-5, 4-6, 7-5, 6-7, 6-4 to end his bid for a maiden Grand Slam title. The win for Khachanov, on the other hand, marked his first career Grand Slam singles semi-final. Wimbledon finalist Kyrgios had knocked out world number 1 Daniil Medvedev in the previous round, but the 27-year-old said lifting the trophy was all that mattered. Waiting for Khachanov in the last 4 is Casper Ruud. Playing against Italian Matteo Berrettini, the Norwegian number 5 seed started quickly and then had to save 2 set points in the third set on his way to a 6-1, 6-4, 7-6 victory. The French Open finalist must make the final to have a chance of pipping Rafael Nadal to top spot in the rankings, and if he were to meet Carlos Alcaraz for the title, the winner would also become world number 1. Ruud is firmly in the mix to win his first Grand Slam title, and following defeats for Nadal, Daniil Medvedev and Marin Cilic in the 4th round, there will be a new name on the men's trophy. In the women's event, Ons Jabeur reached the last 4 for the first time in her career after overcoming Australia's Ayla Tomljanovic 6-4, 7-6. The Tunisian number 5 seed also becomes the first African woman to reach the semi-finals in New York. Although well-deserved, it was a far from straightforward victory for Jabeur. She dropped her serve 4 times in the match, there were 30 unforced errors, and her first serve percentage was just 40%. Jabeur will be hoping that those numbers get better in the last 4, where she will meet Caroline Garcia. The French number 17 seed never allowed Coco Gauff to impose her own game as she cruised to a 6-3, 6-4 victory in an hour and 39 minutes. Garcia raced to a 4-love lead in the opener, and although Gauff cut the double break in half, Garcia served out on her first set point. She broke the Gauff serve in the opening game of the second set and saved a crucial break point on her own serve at 3-2 before completing a fully deserved win.
Still to come on Nightline, young couple found dead in car. local news. 2 youths found lifeless in a car outside a community hall in Air Limau, Alor Gajah, Melaka were lovers. State Deputy Police Chief Senior Assistant Commissioner Razali Abu Sama said police have ruled out any criminal element in the preliminary findings over the death of the 20-year-old man and his 16-year-old girlfriend.
The duo was found dead around 9:25 a.m. on Wednesday. Razali said the cause of death is suspected carbon monoxide poisoning after police found the vehicle was covered with a car-covered canvas and the vehicle's engine was not running. He also said the girl was sent to meet the man at the community hall at 4 p.m. on Tuesday by a friend of the couple. He added that police were trying to find out whether their relationship was objected to by any of the family members or any other reasons for that could have led to the incident. The bodies of the 2 victims, both locals, were taken to the Melaka hospital for post-mortem, and the case has been classified as sudden death.
Meanwhile, a finance manager and the marketing director of a company have been remanded on Wednesday to assist in a 10 million ringgit corruption probe involving the takeover of a public transport system project. The remand order was issued by Magistrate Isra Zulaika Rohanuddin after granting the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC's application to remand the woman and man, both in their 40s, at the Putrajaya Magistrates Court.
The duo were arrested at the MACC headquarters about 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday when they came to give their statements. The female suspect, who is the financial manager, is believed to have paid bribes to facilitate the acquisition of work involving the project from another company to her company. The woman who was responsible for paying the money is believed to have done so without complying with the company's financial and procurement procedures, while the male suspect is suspected of making payments to 6 different individuals and entities that are suspected to be fake. MACC Investigations Division Senior Director Datuk Sri Shamuddin Hashim confirmed the arrest of the 2 individuals to assist investigations under the MACC Act.
The Buenos Aires World Tango Festival kicked off on Tuesday night with concerts, tributes and dancers from around the world showcasing their elegant footwork in the hope of making it to the next round of the competition. With more than 1,500 artists from 25 countries participating, the Salon Tango is often categorized by slow, measured and smoothly executed moves, respecting the space of other dancers on the floor. Let's take a look at the competition as we wrap up Nightline this time around. I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe.